So let's get started with Text 101, your own text adventure game, and more importantly, text adventure engine. In this game, we're going to, even in this video, we're going to recap how to create and save projects, just to get you really confident with that. Set up and save your Text 101 project. Talk a little bit about what gets carried over to new projects when you start a new Unity project. And we'll import your Prism image asset, but not use it yet, and then save your project. Okay, so let's dive into Unity for a moment. If you open Unity, you'll probably find that it's exactly where you left it. And if you're following the course through in order, then you'll have left it at the end of Number Wizard console like this. So you're obviously going to need to start a new project. So let's be very clear about where that project's going to get stored on your hard drive firstly. I want my project to be in a directory over here in Ben, and then under repos for repositories because of the way that I manage my code. And then I want it right in here. I want a folder right in Ben repos. This is a Mac, by the way. And I want that to be called Text 101. So how do I do that in Unity? Well, let's take a look. Here we are in Number Wizard console. Let's go ahead and create a new project from the File menu. When you do that, you'll have several options as you've seen before. Let's start at the top, Set. That's going to set the project directory. So I go to this repos folder, and I'm going to call it Text 101. Now, if I'm selected on the repos folder and I call it Text 101, let's save and see what happens in a moment. Firstly, we need to decide not to import any assets and set up a 2D project. It's not super important whether it's 2D or 3D because things can easily be changed in Unity, but so that things are consistent with my videos, please choose 2D. Okay, fantastic. Click on Create Project. Now let's just firstly check that folder. There you go. Actually, you could see the folder while Unity temporarily closed. It has created a Text 101 folder as I wanted, and within that it's got all the stuff that Unity sets up by default. So that is fantastic. We've achieved our first goal, which is to recap how to create and save projects and to save our Text 101. So what gets carried over to new projects? Well, one of the things that's kind of lingering from the Number Wizard project is that your console tab or your layout in general or as a whole will be persisted. So however your layout was in your last project, the window layout will be the same in this new one. So the easiest way to get back to default is click at the top right on the button Layout and then click Default. Now you'll be back at the default Unity layout. We don't need the console on the right-hand side anymore. That was just for a previous project. Okay, fantastic. The other thing that will get carried across are all of your Unity preferences, which are here on a Mac, and they're here on a PC. Thanks to Christo for pointing this out for us. As you know, this course is recorded on a Mac, and there are very few differences between Macs and PCs, but things like location of the preferences menu is an example of one of the differences. So if there's a difference that you would like me to insert into the course, please do share it in the discussions like Christo has, and it would be ideal if you didn't annotate it so that I can annotate it myself afterwards in a way that's consistent with the course. So just a plain vanilla full screen screenshot would be fantastic in the discussions, and I'm happy to edit it into the course like I have done this bit. I think the only thing that we have changed is the colors. We've changed the play mode tint to whatever you chose. I've chosen a red. What that means is when you click play, the system will indicate all parts of the interface where changes will be lost if you are to make them during the play. So you need to stop playing before you play with or change anything around here, around the outside hierarchy or inspector, because those are only temporary changes. And the reason I changed the play mode tint is to make that really, really clear to you. So that's what gets carried over. In summary, your current layout, and it's easy to reset as I just showed you, and anything under your Unity preferences, i.e. the play mode tint or anything else in that Unity preferences dialog box, which is there. Any of these tabs, external tools, colors, keys, any of this stuff will get persisted when you start a new project. Okay, so I hope that's clear for you. The final thing we're going to do, as I've promised, is to import your Prism image asset. So if you're anything like me, you've downloaded your Prism image asset from a lecture very close to this one in the course, probably immediately before this or before the game design document. And when you download from that lecture, from the resources button, you will see a Prism Word .png or possibly .png.zip. If it's a zip, obviously just unzip it so that you find this prison word PNG file. If you double click it, it should look something like this, just the word prison. And all I want you to do for now is just grab that and drag it onto your assets section of Unity. So that is under project tab at the bottom of the screen. You've then got assets, drag and let go in there. And what you should find is you get prison world like that, which you can click on and see in Unity. When you drag this image in, just be absolutely sure that it has come in as texture type sprite brackets 2D and UI. Look up on the top right under your inspector with your prison world image selected over here and just make sure this says sprite. If it doesn't, please click the drop down and change it to sprite brackets 2D and UI as mine is. That's going to be really important on a future video. The final thing you're going to need to do is to actually save your scene. It'll ask you to do this when you quit Unity. You know that it's not saved because firstly there's no scene here in the assets folder, and secondly it says untitled up here, which is your scene or level name. So let's go ahead and just say save scene in Unity, and it'll come up and say, what do you want to call it? Well, it wants to go in the assets folder, that's correct, and let's just call it game. This game is going to have a single scene, so that's it. Now we have a new thing in our assets folder called game, and it looks like a Unity logo, and that is a scene or a level, and we're having a single one here. So now the real test is if you try and quit Unity, then it should just go and disappear like that, which is just fine. So that means that you have successfully left Unity and nothing else needed saving, and it's all good to go. But for now, congratulations, you've done really well in this video. You understand a lot more about creating and saving projects and getting them to go where you want them, you know, actually getting control over the directory. You have saved your Text 101 project, you understand what gets carried across, and our image is in. So well done, and I'll see you in another video.